Most career advice is written for 25-year-olds. You know the type. All the stuff following like your passion, taking risks, pivoting into tech, building your personal brand on social media.
But here's the thing, you're not 25. You're not starting from scratch. You have a track record. You have wisdom. You have something most junior professionals don't have, and that's genuine clarity about actually what matters. The question is, how do you leverage that to build a second act that's actually better than the first? Hi, I'm Jenny Lee from Midlife Clover community.
Hi, I'm Alice from Prime Midlife, and welcome back to Midlife Unfiltered. Today, we are going to walk you through something that might feel counterintuitive at first, but it will change how you think about where you are right now. So first, let's start with a myth that needs busting. Most people think the best time to change careers is when you are young, when you are hungry, when you have nothing to lose. But the research says something completely different. The MIT Sloan School of Management conducted a longitudinal study that found professionals who pivot at 45 or older actually report higher job satisfaction and earn more within 5 years than those who pivot earlier. Why? Because you know yourself better. You have made mistakes, real ones, the kind that teach you something. You have learned what energizes you and what absolutely drains you. And that self-knowledge is worth more than any qualification you could earn.
Here's a statistics that put this in perspective. According to research from Career Advisory Board, 73% of professionals aged 40 to 60 are considering a significant career change. What's happening is that you have reached a point where the old metrics of the success, the title, the salary, the prestige, they don't move you the way they used to. And that's actually a gift, even though it doesn't feel like one.
Here's what separates successful midlife career changes from those who stay stuck in roles that no longer fit them. They reframe the narrative. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm too old to change, I got too much invested in this path, you know what, I should just stick it out? They ask a different question. They ask, what can I build now that I couldn't have built 10 years ago? That shift in perspective changes everything. It moves you from scarcity mindset, I have lost time, I've missed opportunities, to abundance mindset. I have resources, experience, and clarity that I didn't have that before.
So here's your first action. Take 30 minutes this week, maybe this weekend. Write down 3 skills or experiences from your current career that don't feel industry specific. They might be leadership, they might be negotiation, they might be project management, client relations, resilience, strategic thinking, or the ability to manage through uncertainty. These are portable assets. They are the things that transfer across industry and they are worth more than you think.
Now, not all career changes are the same, and trying to fit your transition into the wrong model might drain your energy and confidence faster than anything else. So these are 3 distinct patterns that successful midlife professionals follow. Understand which one fits your situation, will clarify your next steps, and help you avoid a lot of unnecessary struggle.
The pivot within is the first type of transition. You stay in your industry, but you change your role, your specialization, or your focus. You move from managing people to managing projects, from execution to strategy, from corporate to consulting. The beauty of the pivot within is that your reputation, your network, your credential follows you. You're not starting from zero. You're leveraging everything you have built, just in a different directions.
The second type is something we call the parallel build. This is where you start creating something alongside your current role. It might be a side business, it might be a consultancy, it might be a passion project that you are building in your evenings and weekends. And slowly over time, you shift your time and energy towards it. I know a former pharmaceutical executive in Hong Kong who spent 3 years building a wellness coaching practice while she was still employed full-time. By year 3, the coaching business was generating enough revenue that she could leave her corporate role with confidence. She didn't have to jump, she could walk, and that made all the difference. The parallel build is brilliant because it reduces risk. You are testing your second act in the real world before you commit to it fully. You are learning whether people will actually pay for what you are offering. You are building a revenue stream and a client base before you leave your salary. You are getting real feedback from real clients. This is the approach that most financially prudent professionals use, especially if they have dependents or significant financial obligations.
The third type is the clean break. You leave, you retrain, you start fresh in a completely new field. I've seen this work for people who have a genuine calling shift. Someone who moved from marketing into therapy, from accounting into education, from corporate into social enterprise. But here's the truth that most career coaches won't tell you. This approach works best when you have financial runway, 6 months, ideally a year, or more when you are absolutely clear on your motivation and when you have done enough exploration, know it's the right move. It is not impossible, but it requires the most careful planning and the most courage.
So here's your action for this section. Which of these three resonates with you? Write it down. Then ask yourself the hard question. What is stopping me from moving in that direction right now? Is it financial? Is it confidence? Is it clarity about where you want to go? Is it concern about what your family will think? Naming the actual barrier is the first step to dismantling it. Because when you know what's really holding you back, you can address it directly instead of just feeling stuck.
Now, I want to share something rooted in neuroscience. Our brain is at 45 is fundamentally different from our brain at 25. And in the context of making major life decisions, different is actually better. Neuroscience research shows that the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for judgment, planning, emotional regulation, and decision making, continues developing well in your 40s and 50s. You are literally better equipped to make major decisions how than you were a decade ago. You have better impulse control. You have a better perspective. You can see the long-term consequences of your choices more clearly.
Harvard conducted a study tracking professionals over 30 years. They found that people who make intentional career changes in their 40s and 50s showed higher engagement, better mental health outcomes, and a stronger sense of purpose than those who remain in roles that no longer fit them. The key word here is intentional. This isn't about impulsive decision. This is about deliberate design. This is about choosing your next chapter rather than just drifting into it.
What's also happening in our 40s and 50s is that we have moved past the urgency of proving ourselves. You have already proven it. You got the credential. You have got the track record. That shifts your priorities fundamentally. We are less motivated by status and more motivated by meaning. We care less about the title and more about the actual impact. And that clarity is a genuine superpower in the job market, because employers know that people who are motivated by meaning tend to be more engaged, more reliable, and more creative.
Research from the Centre for Future Work in Australia found that professionals aged 45 to 65 who felt they had purpose and autonomy in their work reported 40% higher job satisfaction and were 30% more likely to stay in their roles long term. Purpose matters more at this stage than salary or title. That's not idealistic, that's data.
Here's something I want you to sit with. The discomfort you are feeling right now. If you're feeling it, that's not a sign of weakness. It is not a sign that you're having a crisis. It is a signal. Your brain is telling you that something doesn't align who you are becoming, and your brain at this age is usually right.
So here's your reflection for this session. Spend some time with this question. What did I want to do at 18 that I talked myself out of? Not because it's practical to do it now, but because revisiting that desire often points to a genuine thread of purpose that's still worth exploring in some form. Maybe you wanted to be a writer, maybe you want to work with communities, maybe you wanted to build something. That thread is still there and is worth investigating.
Most people fail at career transition because they focus entirely on the external, the job title, the new company, the fresh start. But successful transitions are built on 4 internal and external pillars. Get this right, and the transition becomes manageable and sustainable. Skip one and you will struggle. and you might end up right back where you started.
The first pillar is financial runway, and this is non-negotiable. Before you make any major move, you need to know how long you can sustain yourself in your income jobs. 3 months, 6 months, a year? The longer your runway, the more options you have. If you can't build a runway right now, that is okay. It just means your next move is the pivot within or the parallel build instead of a clean break. There's no shame in that. It's actually strategic.
Here's what you need to do. Calculate your monthly expenses. Everything. Housing, food, insurance, dependents, everything. Then calculate how many months of expenses you have saved or can access. That number is your runway. If it's less than 3 months, your next move isn't to change career. Your next move is to build a financial buffer. That might take 6 months or a year. That's fine. You're building a foundation.
The second pillar is clarity on your non-negotiables. What do you actually need from work? And I mean actually need, not what you think you should want. Is it flexibility? Is it intellectual challenge? Is it impact? Is it community and connection? Is it the ability to work from anywhere? Is it a certain level of income? Is it the ability to leave work at work? Most people haven't asked themselves these questions clearly, so they jump into a new role and they realize after 3 months that is missing something essential, something that actually matters to them.
Here's your action. List 5 things that matters to you in work. Then rank them. Your top 3 are your non-negotiables. Every opportunity you consider, every job, every business idea, every transaction should meet those 3 criteria. This filter out options that look good on paper but won't actually satisfy you. It saves you from making the same mistake twice.
And the third pillar is network and credibility. You have 20 years of professional relationship, and that is an asset. Before you pivot, you need to understand how your credibility transfers. Who is in your network would recommend you? What are you actually known for? Can you translate that into your next field? Can you leverage it?
Here's what I want you to do. Reach out to 5 people in your network this week. Not to ask for a job, just to reconnect. Tell them that what you're exploring. Ask them what they see as your strongest qualities. Ask them what they think you're genuinely good at. Their feedback often reveals how your value is perceived, which is different from how you perceive yourself. And that's valuable information.
The fourth skill is skill development and experimentation. You don't need to know everything before you start, but you do need to know enough to be confident. That might mean taking a course, it might mean getting a certification, it might mean volunteering in your field of interest, it might mean doing freelance projects. The goal is to test your assumptions in low-risk environments before you commit to a full transition.
So here's your action. Identify one skill gap between where you are and where you want to be. Then commit to filling that gap in the next 3 to 6 months. It might be a short course, online course. It might be a formal certification. It might be reading deeply about a subject. The goal is to move from, I don't know if I can do this, to, I tried this and I can. That shift in confidence is everything.
Now, I want to address something that's specific to professionals in the Asia-Pacific region, because Western career advice often get this wrong. Western career advice emphasizes the individual hero's journey. You follow your passion, you take the leap, you reinvent yourself. Well, that is exciting. It's also often incomplete for professionals here, where career decisions are entangled with family expectations, financial responsibilities, cultural values, and a different relationship to stability.
The East-West fusion approach recognizes that your career transition isn't just about you. It's about your family, your responsibility, your values, and your obligations. And here's the thing, that's not a constraint. This is actually clarifying. When you factor in your real obligations, your priorities become sharper. Your decision become more grounded.
Let me tell you about a professional in Kuala Lumpur who was exploring a career shift from corporate finance to education. She initially felt guilty about considering a move that would reduce her income. She felt like she was being selfish. She felt like she was letting her family down. But when she reframed the question, when she moved from, what do I want to, What does my family actually need and what do I want? She realized something important. Her family value her presence and her sense of meaning more than an extra 30% in salary. They wanted her to be engaged. They wanted her to be happy. They didn't want her coming home exhausted and hollow every night. That reframing gave her permission to pursue the pivot. She moved into education consulting, leveraging her finance background to help schools build sustainable financial models. Same expertise, different impact, different income, but better alignment with her actual values, and her family was relieved.
The East-West approach also recognizes that you don't have to choose between stability and meaning. You can build a portfolio career. You can maintain one foot in your traditional field while exploring a new one. You can support your family while also honoring your own growth. These things aren't mutually exclusive.
Here's your action. Have a conversation with the people who matter most to you. Could be your partner, family, children, if they are old enough. Ask them what they actually need from you. You might be surprised. They might care less about your job title than you think. They might care more about your presence, your energy, your sense of purpose. And once you know what they genuinely need, you have more freedom to design your next chapter. You are not making this decision in isolation. You are making it together.
So here's where we are. You are at a point in your career while you have resources that you haven't before. You have clarity, you have experience, you have a network, you have wisdom. The question isn't whether you can change. The question is how you want to change and what you're going to build in this next chapter.
This is the moment where most people get stuck because they are waiting for permission. They are waiting for certainty. They are waiting for the perfect moment when everything is lined up and there is no risk. Well, that moment doesn't exist. What exists is now. What exists is the choice to start exploring, to start testing, to start building something that aligns with who you actually are, not who you thought you had to be.
So take one action this week, just one. Write down your 3 portable skills, or calculate your financial runway, or identify your 3 non-negotiables, or reach out to someone in your network, or have that conversation with your family. One action. That's how change begins.
And if this resonates with you today, if you are thinking about your next chapter, please subscribe. There is more content coming on career reinvention, on building resilience in uncertain times, on designing a life that actually fits who you are. You are not alone in this, and you are not too old for this. You are exactly the right age for this. See you next week.